Good morning, Janet Gorond here from World Without Wine. This morning I want to talk about moderation. Now that was a pretty hot topic on our WhatsApp group last week, so I just thought I'd continue the conversation. Now the dictionary defines moderation as the avoidance of excess, but I think us drinkers or us ex-drinkers, we've kind of hijacked that word, haven't we? And what we mean by moderation is we mean control. When we say I want to moderate, we mean I want to control my drinking. And most of us, when we've clocked up a period of sobriety, we have that fleeting thought, don't we? Oh, I wonder if I could moderate. I wonder if I could control my drinking now. We think, well, I've proved, haven't I, that I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not one of those people. I'm not going to end up on the park bench. So I'm probably fine now. I've reset. I've been clean for a while, so let me try again. Have you had those kind of thoughts? If you have, please write them in the comments. Oh, hi Sue, how lovely to see you there, and Lynette as well. Now, if you guys are wondering what that wheel of fortune behind my head is, then you have to come to the Zoom cafe and all will be revealed. We're going to start having some fun at the end of our Zoom cafe. Okay, so where was I? So I just wanted to say about moderation. When we get those thoughts, that, oh, right, I'm going to moderate now, you should know that it's extremely difficult to control an addictive drug, because that's what alcohol is. It's an addictive drug. And once you've crossed a line with it, there's no going back. Once it's got its claws into you, then there's no such thing as moderation or control. And if you're watching this, you probably can't moderate. World Without Wine wouldn't even be on your radar. You wouldn't have liked our page. You wouldn't have joined our community. So if you're watching this, you probably can't moderate. Now, I was locked in what I like to call the moderation trap for 10 whole years. I tried, I failed, I tried, I failed. It was a crazy situation because I was full of fear. What would life without alcohol possibly look like? I couldn't imagine it. And also in our community, after running World Without Wine for 5 years, I've seen many people try to moderate. They either start off by trying to moderate or they clock up a period of sobriety and then say, okay, I'm cured, I'm going to moderate now. And sometimes it works for a few weeks, even for a few months. But I would say in 95% of cases, it just escalates. It creeps up until you're back to your previous levels, and then you're back to square one. And then you have to do the hard work all over again. So I thought this morning I would draw on my own experience, those 10 years, and also the experience of the community, and just try and share 7 points with you. Lynette's curious about the wheel. Haha, I knew that would get you thinking. Okay, guys. Hello, Jess. Lovely to see you there. So number one, I think number one is actually the most important one. Now, if you've been alcohol free for a while and you're still tormented by those thoughts, fantasizing, oh, a glass of wine to watch the sunset, a nice cold beer to when I go to the braai at the weekend. If you're having those kind of thoughts over and over again, I mean, even I do get an occasional thought, but it's nothing like a craving. After 5 years, it's not craving, and I would never act on it. But what I'm saying is, if you're tormented by these kind of thoughts, and if it's making you unhappy, then I would say that you haven't changed your mindset yet. You're still in that FOMO place. You think that you're missing out on something. So what you need to do is carry on doing the work. You've got to explore and discover what your limiting beliefs around alcohol are. is it that you think you can't have fun with alcohol, you can't socialize without alcohol, you can't relax without alcohol? You need to discover what they are, and then you need to overturn them. You need to read The Naked Mind over and over again until it sticks. You need to come to one of our workshops where we talk about these beliefs. You need to get some coaching, some one-to-one help with Lynette, who will help you to explore those beliefs. Because you need to remember that ditching the booze is not about willpower, it's about mindset. Because once you can see clearly how brainwashed we are about alcohol, once you see things clearly, you don't even want to drink anymore. The liquor industry has convinced many people that we can't enjoy life without their product. So now we've got to deprogram ourselves. It's as simple as that. So that's number one, and I think it's the most important thing. So if you're tormented by these thoughts, then you've got more work to do. Carry on clocking up those sober days, but do the work as well. Number two, a true moderator never actually thinks about alcohol. They'd never dream of drinking alone. They'd never drink more than a bottle and a half of wine a week, the safe limits. They wouldn't have discovered World Without Wine, and they certainly wouldn't come to a workshop. We wouldn't even be on their radar. But once we've had a drink problem, we'll never be back in that place. Number three. Now, drinking more than 1.5 bottles of wine a week will put our health at risk. So if you're watching this and you're quite new to World Without Wine and you're not really ready to stop, you think, oh, I just want to get things under control, then I would say try to moderate, keep within those limits. But if you keep trying and keep failing, then that's a very clear message. And don't get stuck there for 10 years like I did. Give yourself a few months, try, fail, and then accept. Just accept, and you'll be at peace. Accept that you need to change, and then join our tribe. We'll help you to make that change. And indeed, it's a tough few months while you're going through that initial stage, but then you're done, and then you'll learn how to thrive in your alcohol-free life. Number 4. Before any big decision, any decision like moving house, getting married, getting divorced, changing jobs, we don't take these decisions lightly. We go through a contemplation period before we make any big decision, and indeed it's a big decision to quit alcohol. And some of us have to try and fail until we make that big decision. So I do see that as part of the contemplation phase. I was stuck there for 10 years, and many people do get stuck. And that's a shame, because there's nothing worse than falling on and off the wagon. It's exhausting, it's depressing, and you never actually get to experience the joy of sobriety. And there is joy to be had, trust me. Sorry, my notes got mixed up then. Let me just see who's watching. Have a little break. Number 2, good point. Yes, Jess, indeed. Gosh, Lynette, in moderation for 15 years. Even longer than me, Lynette. What are we like? We're a bit slow, aren't we, to get the message? So let me move on to number 5. Our mind plays tricks on us. We start having thoughts after we've been sober for a while. We start having thoughts like, well, I wasn't that bad. And then we start remembering, the good times that we've had when we were drinking. And we forget the bad times. That's the worst of it. We forget all those times where we had terrible hangovers, or we had arguments, or we had blackouts, or we lost our favourite jacket. We just forget all that because we don't want to dwell on it, which is fair enough. But I would advise, and what we say when people come to our workshops is not only keep a why list, why are you doing this thing? Why have you made this big decision? We tell them to make a blacklist. And the blacklist is a list of all the things that went wrong when they were drinking. The blacklist will mention the hangovers, the arguments, all those bad things, because we tend to forget. And I always remember making my blacklist, which was quite long anyway, because I've been drinking many years. And then I kept remembering a few days later and a few days later, oh, I must write that thing down and that thing down. And the list was really long. And I would say, you know, if you've got a list like that when you're journaling, stick it in the back of your journal. And then if you get these fleeting thoughts like, oh, I'm sure I can moderate now, just read that list and say to yourself, do I want to go back to that? Do I want to go back to that dark place? Number 6. Now we call our workshops How to Moderate or Quit Drinking. Now it's not a trick, but it is an effort to attract a wider audience of people. We want to attract people who would benefit from reflecting on their relationship with alcohol. And often at the beginning of workshops, you're listening to people's goals, you know, why are they there? And many of them say, I'm here to moderate because I want to learn to moderate. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, you probably can't moderate or you wouldn't be here. But I never say that. I'm never that cruel. But I am thinking that. And from experience of running 55 workshops, I can tell you that 95, maybe more, people that come along, they've crossed that line already. Because if they could moderate, they would moderate. They wouldn't come to a workshop to listen to someone telling them you can only drink a bottle and a half of wine a week. Because they would be able to do that naturally. They wouldn't need help. The very fact that they are concerned enough to come to a workshop and learn this stuff and listen for the whole day indicates that there is a problem. And the definition of a drinking problem really is something that worries you. You know, I've come across that people that drink relatively moderately, but they worry about it. So, you know, they need to stop it. Number 7, last point. Always remember that alcohol is like an abusive lover. I really like this analogy. I think it works. Because with an abusive lover, you know that they're no good for you. And then they move out and you start thinking, oh, I miss that person and we had so many good times. And again, just like with alcohol, I'm always saying we give alcohol far too much credit for the good times. But just like alcohol, with a lover that's moved out, you're thinking, oh, we had this good time and that good time and I miss that person. So you think, oh, let's give them another chance. So they move back in and it goes wrong again, just as you knew it would. So rather than having that kind of up and down relationship with alcohol, just get it out of your life and try writing a goodbye to alcohol letter. That's a powerful and cathartic experience, and it draws a line under your drinking because it's gone, you know, just like abusive lover, that's in your past now. So a letter will draw a line under it. And if you want some inspiration, then go to our letters website, as we call it, which is goodbyetoletters.com, and check out the letters on there. So that's my 7 things. So, you know, my big point is don't get caught in that moderation trap. If you've clocked up a period of sobriety, even if you don't feel great, just carry on, and you will feel great. But don't mess up all your hard work, please, because it's exhausting and depressing. Keep stopping and starting. And as many of you know by now, Ditching the drink usually takes a few months of hard work, but then you're done, and then you can start thriving in your alcohol-free life. You can create a life you don't want to escape from. So do the work. If you're still struggling with those fleeting thoughts, do the work, change your mindset, and then embrace your alcohol-free life. Because an alcohol-free life is it's a positive lifestyle choice. So see it as a lifestyle rather than a life of deprivation, which it isn't. And if you want some help, come join our tribe, worldwithoutwine.com, click on membership. And if you join up now and come to our Zoom cafe this afternoon, you'll find out what the Wheel of Fortune behind my head is all about. So let me see. Anika. So who's here? My lovely Lynette, of course. Jess, hi Jess. Hope you're coming to Zoom. You like number 2, that's good. Number 2, a true moderator never thinks about alcohol. Yeah, I'm sure we all know these people. You know, my husband's one of them. We would go out together and he'd have one glass of wine, and sometimes he wouldn't even finish that, and I'd think, oh, how do you do that? Hi Moline. Holding on to this new joy is so worth it. Yeah, one drink is just too many. What's that thing that AA say? I think one drink is not enough, 1,000. One drink is too many, 1,000 is not enough. I like that. Yes, remember our last drunk. Yes. Yeah, I remember my last. Well, actually, I don't remember because it was a complete blackout. But I'll never forget that. But I'm always grateful for that last drunk because it frightened me to death and made me realise I had to change. Long blacklist. Yeah, get those blacklists now. Forgetting the bad times. Yeah. I mean, we don't need all that. Life is hard enough, isn't it, without all that shit? Excuse my French. Yeah, Anika's writing her blacklist. How excellent. Oh, you should come to the Zoom cafe and share your blacklist. Maybe we'll, even this afternoon, we can all share at least 1 or 2 things from our blacklist. That might be quite fun. Human nature, yeah, it is, isn't it? So we tend to, I suppose it's quite a positive thing to just remember the good times, but it can give us the wrong message, can't it, with alcohol? Yeah, just do it, Anika. Write down your thoughts. Oh, yes. I mean, this is a great thing to do when you're in coaching. Yeah, if you're thinking you've got a problem, you probably do. Yeah. Do the work and choose your hard. Lovely, Melly. Yeah, don't mess up. I mean, it kind of breaks my heart because I've seen it several times now, you know, people that have done really, really well, they've worked really hard, and then they've gone away to moderate, it's all gone pear-shaped, and then they come back and they're so miserable, and, you know, we have to get them going again, and I think it's more difficult to get started again. And I know Sue and I agree on the fact that we don't think we've got another recovery in us. We couldn't go through all that again. It's just, I can't even contemplate it. Oh, hi, Irene. Lovely to see you. Yeah, we are the lucky ones, Sue. Just like that great book by Laura McCowan, isn't it? Okay, well, that's cool. I'm going to end that now, and I'm going to see all you guys at the Zoom cafe, and I think Lucy's going to talk to us about losses and gains, and we'll share some blacklist items, and we'll check in with everybody. Hope some of the newbies will come, and we're going to spin my wheel of fortune. So see you later.